Don't stress around. Don't listen while you speak. I won't make it sound. Troubles on me, work it out. We will be carefree. Let's be free. Together, welcome, people. Welcome back. It is another wonderful Tuesday. This is the first Tuesday of October 6th, 2020. We're right here live, right back on your platform, your social media browsers, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're in the social media groups. It's your main man, Andy Brown, giving it to you live, your life coach, your author, your host, right here giving you some good game as we talk about what's going on in our world. Shout out to all the folks that are listening right now. If you've been tuning in for the past few weeks while we do this thing, thank you. Big shout outs. Definitely appreciate the support. And if you're just now tuning in for the very first time, you're in for a wonderful treat. And if you don't know anything about what we do, shame on you. Been doing this thing for quite some time, but now we're on a whole different platform. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to cover, and I definitely want to get some insight, get some input. Definitely want you to shout this page out, man. Be able to follow me on multiple platforms. You can see me at Andy Brown Speaks. That's the handle, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to make some things happen. We can call in. We can talk about it. Got the call-in number available for all you all. If you paid your phone bill this month, you can log in and hit me up, and we can chime in and we can chat about it. 847-47-iLife. That's 847-474-5433 is the call-in number. And you're going to see me available right here on this platform as well every Tuesday and every Thursday night, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, living vicariously through you. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited about the opportunity to talk to you about the different topics that are going on. And most importantly, folks, I'm more excited about learning and growing together as we build a platform and continue to grow a community. It's here. We've got all the resources. We've got all the tools. And even if we don't have them, let's put ourselves in position to create these things and come together on multiple levels to grow with, for one another. That's how we do it. We keep it real. We keep it 100. And then that's what I'm here for. So if you hear some good game tonight, give me some chime in, give me some likes, touch the heart, touch the thumbs up, give me a little laughter here and there. Let's talk about some things. And as we dive off into it, I think this is going to be very relevant for all of us to talk about and discuss tonight. So before we even put that out there, the thoughts and ideas displayed today on the Online Happy Hour do not reflect those who are on multiple social media platforms. But what it does affect are those who are listening here, who are communicating with us and talking with us about another wonderful topic. We talked about dating and lying last week. We talked about health and wellness, and we're going to be discussing this again with tonight's topic. How has COVID changed your life? What do I mean by that exactly? How has COVID-19 affected you personally? So there's a lot of different ways we've looked at this virus, this entity, this being. We're going to talk about that, how it's affected us here in America, how it's affected you on your social media platforms, how it's affected your income, how it's affected your money, how it's affected your health overall, and even, yes, how COVID-19 has affected your relationships. So let's talk about it. Bring it into life. 847-47-iLife is the call-in number. Again, 847-474-5433. Chime in, hit me up. I'm welcome to talk about this and how we're going to dive off into this thing. So let me get right down to it. I got some folks trying to hit me up right now. I hope this is going to be some social media platforms. I paid my bills this month, so I don't even know why anybody would try to call this hour to discuss some financial things going on. But hey, let's just do it. Let's talk about it. So, COVID-19. This thing is here, man. It's here. It's real, but it's not spectacular. It is an entity that has been going on and talked about nearly the entire year of 2020. So it came in roughly about the second quarter of the year, roughly about March. And it's been some things that have been going on with COVID-19 as a virus that's affecting our immune system, that's affected us on the respiratory level, on the mental level. Um, it really targeted those who were mostly older in age and having, asthmatic issues and respiratory things of that nature. But we really didn't know what this was. It just came out of the blue, and all of a sudden we had to start wearing, a mask in public, right? What did that look like? What was that supposed to do? This mask was supposed to keep you from breathing out certain things and actually receiving those things in. Some of us, kind of raised the Cubert question mark. Other of us went right ahead, dive right off into it. Government knows best. And there's some people that just said, I don't know what this is. We're going to challenge the authority. We're going to go against the grain and not wear a mask. And we were seeing in the news very rapidly that people were changing, lives were changing. Uh, this illness, this immune deficiency that was going out of COVID-19 was attacking our bodies, and we really didn't have an idea of what it was doing, but it was killing people off. We were asking lots of ventilators to be made, and we're having people to be put on ventilators and send them to other countries. Why? I'm not quite sure. Could have been a commerce deal for that, man. I'm not sure where that's going. But let's talk about how this COVID has really affected us going into um, our money. We got some people who were furloughed, people who were laid off, people who job descriptions and opportunities expanded to keep their occupations. And we had some people who just overall were like, no, I'm not going to do it. We're not essential workers. We're not out in the field on a regular basis. I can't do that anymore. I'm not going to put my body, my health, my family at risk. So is what it is, man. So how do we play into this going into about a month away from the election? Our president has done some things. Our former vice president has said some things. Our local officials have said some things. We've had some things transpire along that way, and we've had to make some adjustments. One of the biggest adjustments that we've had to make with our income, not only being furloughed, not being laid off, but man, working from home, no longer in the office place. So yeah, making that commute going back and forth to work, or having to make that drive and sit in some traffic, and dealing with your children on different levels for daycare, all the routine and everything that we had shifted. So people are now working from home. And what does that look like? Are you spending more time with your family now? Or are you sick of that person that's with you day in and day out that you're ready to get away from them from time to time? How does that feel? How does that look on a day-to-day schedule? We're going to talk about that. We're going to enlighten some folks about that. And how did that play into the fact of, how you're shopping, what you're buying, who you're spending that time with, and man, that in and of itself. So let's say, the married couples, you've got somebody in the house and you send them on a regular basis. Those of you who are having extramarital affairs and those who are single, how does that factor into what you're doing? Your travel has been on shutdown, if it all raised to a level of minimal travel, but we're still able to move around. And the country may operate the same, but doesn't practice the same principles. We have different states who are kind of moving carefree, and we've got some people in different states who said, you know what, shut this down completely. We're not moving. We're not taking no chances. Not quite sure where this is going, so it's probably best to stay safe and stay home. And there's no wrong way to do this, but are we putting people in danger because we're not moving around? How has this COVID affected you? Your money wise, as your income shifted, are you no longer having to pay that gas and that fare that's going out there for your car on a weekly commute? Are you not being able to go to the gym and get your workout on? What's changed in your life and your lifestyle that this COVID has brought forth a different kind of level? And are we able to adjust to the new norm, or are we expecting to go back to the way things used to be? We're going to make America great again, or we're going to switch the dynamic and make a new America in the direction of where we take it. So it's all about control. It's all about adaptation. It's all about change and how it affects our life. So how has COVID affected your life? We can talk about that. So first of all, it's the awareness. It's the awareness of COVID-19, that this is a real thing. There's social distancing now that has really been played into effect to where we're staying 6 feet apart, more or less. So you're going into your local convenience stores to make purchases. You've seen the signs out there that have little X's in the streets and in the walkways and the hallways of tape. Somebody had to go lay that down. And then what does that look like? How are people treating that? Are we just kind of saying, back up, give me 50 feet? Or is it just, I want to go against the grain. I really don't care. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but, there was a time when I was shopping in my local Walmart and, people would kind of come up to you on that little conveyor belt. You put one or two things down, and because they got some heavy stuff behind you, they want to kind of line up, put their stuff next to you. Dude, that is so unnecessary. And I, for one, am glad that 6 feet, that 6 feet social distancing is something serious now, because I couldn't stand that, man. I don't know who you are, but if you need to be behind me and then get all up on me with whatever groceries and whatnot that you have, first of all, I don't want to look in your shopping cart like that. It's another reason why I just don't like grocery stores, man. It's very interpersonal. Knowing what you about to buy and put in you ain't got to see all that. Your maxi pads and your peanut butter and your dog food, and you get a couple of chicken pot pies and whatnot. I don't even know what you got going on with your life, man. I'm trying to get that close to you so I can see all what's happening. But there's people who have to be close up on you, right all up on you, and all up in your, not in your face per se, but all up in your space and aura. It's so unnecessary. And I'm not gathering, I hope that has been a change that have helped people to see that we don't have to continue to do this anymore. You can back up. Your online shopping has now made a change in how people are buying things more regularly. Staying away from the stores and staying away from the malls, and looking at how that's being played. So if we talk about the awareness of what that's done, instantly you're starting to see the change in dynamic of what's going on in the marketplace. So you, as a consumer, if you're used to going out and buying things on a regular basis, it's not as frequent as it used to be. There are some stores that had the 24-hour service that were staying open all night. That's changed now. You've got some time that they're looking to be more safe. They're not staying out, for the people to just kind of continue interaction. Their employers have taken some insight to say, I don't want you all around and working late at night. Take your ass home and be safe, or kind of take your ass home, get off this clock. Or even for the truth in the matter, we don't want that atmosphere to continue to linger around. So how has COVID really affected your life? If you're a late night shopper, or if you work late, or you work early mornings and your time of the night is to go out and do your grocery shopping, and now you can't do that past 8:30, 9 o'clock, man, have you had to make a serious adjustment to what you're doing and how you're shopping? Have you been kind of forced into utilizing more online shopping? What kind of adjustment has that been? And think about not only those people in the demographic of mostly who are watching here between 25 and 55, but people who are a little bit older in age who totally had to stop doing it. I mean, think about it. Their online internet access, YouTube is just now a thing for some people, let alone social media platforms. So if you have to convince someone that is out of a internet world to do online shopping, you're slowly pushing somebody out of the dynamic or out of the diaspora of living in this world in a comfortable manner. How has this really affected your life? To talk about that, because you got to see how people are operating in the now. And we're in an instant world. This is an information age. It's right here in front of you. You've got stuff right here lined up. How do you actually operate nowadays as maybe, 6, 7 months ago. Totally, totally freaking different. And that's just on the shopping aspect. That's just on purchases alone. We as consumers are constantly out here buying stuff and making impulse purchases and buying things that we just don't really need, but we want because it's readily available to us to touch right then and there. Your candy, your chips, your snacks, all that kind of stuff you see in the store that's right there in the front. But you're doing more online shopping. So are you making more tendencies not to do that? Or have you become so accustomed to getting snacks and chips and candy and all kind of nasty shit like that that you're still buying it on impulse when you're doing your online shopping? I'd like to discuss that with you and hear how people are talking about that, because for me, this is just one. I am someone who does not like grocery shopping. I don't like the stores. As I've gotten more mature in age, it's just not something I'm willing to mentally tolerate, to kind of shop and bob and weave and go through all the lanes, because I don't want to make time for that anymore. It's just not something I'm willing to do. So as parents, if we got something right now, we want to go do something and make a purchase. How has COVID changed your life in the way that you shop? How's it affected the way that you make purchases, random purchases, or the infamous my baby's got a project due tomorrow and I need to go to the store and pick something up for them because they left this part out. Well, it's not happening anymore. Stores are closing earlier. The frequency of the right now shopper is gone. If you can order something online, I can push that traffic to get you to do more online purchases. Then maybe you can get it tomorrow morning before noon. Not the world we're living in. Not the society that we're dealing with. So when we talk about that on a shopping aspect, on a consumer aspect, we have to look at the fact that in your commute, your daily commute going back and forth someplace, now with the COVID-19, now with the quarantine that we had earlier in the year, how does that affect you as a driver? How does that affect you moving around and saying that, okay, well, I'm used to making this commute to work, or I'm making this trip to go see a friend or even go to the movies. I can't do that anymore. These places aren't even open for me to be there. We have people who couldn't wait to go see the latest film or movie or anything of that nature. And now you're not in a position to do that on a regular basis. The summertime was supposed to be that time where the hottest movies are coming out, and the Marvel is dropping new information, and we're supposed to see all the action and horror movies that are coming out. Horror, not horror movies. Okay? Horror movies, that get that clear. Let me rectify that. Let me slow down a little bit and sip this good stuff. This is water tonight. No Crown Royale. No Harvey Wallbanger. Just good water. And I'll talk about the reason I'm sipping on water tonight anyway. But let's talk about that. You got a frequency of going out, being out, going to your favorite restaurant, and that has all changed because of the dynamic of COVID-19. We can't do that anymore. So how does that affect your life? How have you been having to adjust? For my people out there, that shout out to all my folks that just don't cook. You got a stack of plates in there, your good china, your good silverware, and on top of your real plates, you got a whole stack of styrofoam plates in there. I know, I've seen your cabinets. I understand what you're doing. You're not used to cooking and wanting to wash those dishes on a regular basis, so you've been tend to push back more and more and give that opportunity more to having a receipt on the end of your meal. So now that you can't go out and dine anymore and you're missing that at happy hour, how has that made your life an adjustment? What tends to be the norm for your new normal nowadays? So we can dive off into that. The phone line's open again, 847-47-ILIFE. Again, 847-475-4533 is the call-in number. Give me some good game, man. Give me some insight. Let me see what you're thinking about. Let's talk about that and hear what the people are doing, because it's a whole lot of stuff that's going on. We got this election coming up. We've seen a whole lot of things that are happening in our life, and we talk about them. We address the issues, but are we nagging amongst ourselves on our social platforms and to our peers? Or are we going to be able to say, hey, this is enough of what's going on. I've had enough. I've had it up to here. and I want to see some change because this is uncomfortable. This is not regular. I'm not having it, and I want to see some change, not a forced change, but a different kind of change to where I'm comfortable and the next generation behind me is going to be able to adapt as well. So how has COVID changed your life? What is the most dramatic thing that you can think of in a shift as a consumer that you've seen take place? For me personally, like I said, I don't do grocery stores. Mm-mm. I go because I have to. The online shopping was something that was very comfortable for me. If you're not familiar with a platform on your mobile device called Instacart, utilize it. It wasn't everywhere at first, but now it's kind of seems to be the new norm. If you're living in a rural area, you may have to continue to go and visit these local stores as well. But take advantage of these apps that are available. Instacart is one. If you do Walmart shopping, you can do that. If you're on Amazon, if you're on eBay, if you're on Etsy. Am I pronouncing that right? Is it Etsy or is it Etsy? I think it's Etsy. Overall, you still want to be able to utilize those platforms and allow them to be the new norm for what it is that you're doing. So talking about that as a consumer, now that I don't have to go out there and drive around, from, this store over here has what I'm looking for. They've got, milk on sale over here. But over here, I've got canned goods and fresh vegetables that are on, buy three, get five free, whatever the case may be. And now you've opened up that dynamic of couponing that you're not able to get live in those stores. So how has that changed your shopping habits? How has that changed the frequency of your retail purchases? And even more, ladies and gentlemen, how's that affected your hair maintenance appointments? Fellas, when it's time to get that fresh, clean shave, that new nice haircut, are you not able to go to the barbershop as frequently as you want to? And ladies, God forbid, those who are in the hair and weave industry, that's $1 billion business. And the amount of people that are coming into the stores or coming into the salons or sitting in somebody's house and in their lap while they're twisted and turning their hair, that's on a whole different dynamic now. You can no longer maybe set those appointments, 2 and 3 weeks out because Keisha's full or she ain't doing it no more or she ain't really having that many people in the shop, if she's in the shop at all. Think about this, man. This is real life stuff. How has COVID changed your life? Because some of us, watch this now, we just see the gradual shift and we don't really pay it attention. It's talked about up front and we don't really pay much attention to it because we're so used to moving in our level of normal that we haven't paid attention to what's really going on and the force that's hid behind us when dealing with change. And we're just talking about one level of spend. That's just on your spend level. So we have to look at the fact that the dynamic of where you're getting your money from, your jobs, man. We've got people who are notorious for being in the service industry, and that has been limited in and of itself. So my bartenders, my waitresses, those who have an occupation built around service and helping others, depending on that good tip, no, it got slim to none real quick. How was that adjustment? What did you have to do, to make up for that minimum wage plus tips that you were doing? How did that shift even take place? Because if somebody's got some kids or they've got a significant other or some dependent behind them waiting on some good money, ooh, man, I know that has been a dramatic shift in what you're doing and how your life has been affected. How has COVID changed your life? There are people out there who took less opportunities, had to cut back on hours. You had to lose a little bit of time, and you also had to see some. We had to see some shifting in the dynamic of what we were doing in the workforce. What does that mean exactly? So we have to have the change actually take place, and we're seeing that COVID kind of pull us back out of our jobs, out of the need for what we're doing in the service industry. We talked about before, we've heard about essential workers, people who are necessary to be out in the workplace. But if you are in a service industry and your profession does not necessarily require you to be there on a regular basis, And you've seen it, man. You've seen some of these people just do some old Marvel comic, just fade away and disappear. I thought you were here, but now you're gone. And not only have to wear this mask coming into your location, but I totally miss seeing you there. And your position with your company has kind of been put on pause or put away or not needed entirely at all anymore. So how does that happen? What does that look like? If you're used to having this kind of money and your income is where it needs to be during the Trump administration, what shift did you have to take? What change did you have to make to say either, okay, my hours are going to shrink down and I'm not going to do my 40 or 45 plus a week, but now I have to take a little bit back or sit back and do maybe 25 or 30, or that maybe even 20, 15, or maybe even get pushed back all the way off the totem pole to where my income has been either removed totally and been put on unemployment, or I'm gonna have to go out here and look for something else. How has COVID changed your life? So your money, man, your income, your whole source of it, your finances are being put in one particular situation, and now it's been shifted out. No fault of your own. It just happened that way, as the book says. It just happened that way. So now what do we do about that? How do you deal with being laid off, being furloughed, or being unemployed altogether? Or maybe even your job just shifted you to an entirely different department just to hold on to something. We even said back in the after the big economic bust down back in 2008, we saw little people take a dip during the whole economic refinancing scene where you were making really good money, and all of a sudden you took a dip, you weren't making that anymore, and it happens more often than not. But now what are we going to do here in this shift that we're in? How's it affected your income? Did you have to move in with somebody else to kind of sit some money right? Or did you have to, ride the unemployment for a little bit longer than expected? Or even take a little bit of a pay cut to say, you know what, I enjoy what I'm doing. I like my job. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to ride it out. But I'm going to need to, have to sit back and take a big of a cut. I've seen this thing go on for quite some time. And the unemployment stimulus check and the package that kicked out, the $1,200, and then people were getting so much money a week on top of what their unemployment was giving them. So there were people out there financially who were making more money on unemployment than they were working their job before they even went through this whole situation. How about that? And that feels good financially, man. Yes, it does. To know that you don't have to have the daily responsibility of going in and either punching a clock or knowing you can wake up whenever you want to or do whatever you want to and say whatever you want and be on your own time and your money's going to still be there. Yeah, man, that should be a comfortable feeling. I've heard people talk about that out and about in the stores and on social platforms and just different conversations. They're excited about it. I got this extra $300 or $400 a month, man, and I'm living good. Okay. But is that money, that additional money that you weren't making before, what's going on with that? Because there's pros and cons. There's causes and effects of what's going on with that. So are you starting to see that as something as a living expense that you're going to stay and maintain for an extended period of time? Or do you see that window steadily closing and coming down? I think the president of the United States just said something not long ago about a stimulus check. Let me look that up and just kind of read that. He calls off the stimulus talks moving into after the election. Isn't that something? So we're actually looking and seeing that this is not going to take place right now. So if somebody needed some more money to pull back and see what's going on, the president actually said, I'm going to put a stifle on that. So here's what actually happened. President Donald Trump said that he turned down the stimulus offer. I think it was $2 trillion that was supposedly passed and actually affected the stock market. Ooh. So the stocks took a plunge, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that they were asking for $2.4 trillion for bailout money. But the president said, no, we're not going to do that. They were given a sufficient amount of money to be passed out during this time. And here's where we stand right now, that money's not going to come to you, um, if at all, until after the upcoming election. Man, when I saw this on social media platform today, people were livid. They were highly upset. They were offended. Look at what this American gangster is doing. Look at what Donald Trump is doing. Look at what is happening out there to people who have been unemployed. Where's my money? I need my dollars. And I get it. I really do. I get it. You're used to having that income on a regular basis, and now that shift is turned. Or maybe you haven't seen the opportunities present themselves for income that you're looking for, that you used to have or that you were comfortable with. And man, I totally get it. I totally get it. This world is changing. It's evolving. I've heard different conversations about, what do we do about the money situation? Do I keep this up? Do I keep drawing my unemployment? Or do I go out here in the workforce trying to find another job? Well, if I take another job, I may have to take a pay cut, and it may not be the same money I was used to. Now, that in and of itself, man, is a whole different category. And that's something that needs to be talked about, because if you're talking about your livelihood and your income, that has to be addressed, because the system of survival is not really set up for us to win right now. We got to take advantage of where we are and what we have and just utilize the best tools for us. So I really want to know on personal levels how COVID has changed your life, what this has done for you, what the fact that the stimulus bill, the second stimulus bill that is going to be put back, because you got to know this, folks. You have to know that if the government is steadily giving you money, that's one of those governmental payday loans, if you will. They're going to want some of that back. And the interest that they collect on that bad boy, on your income taxes, if and when you file, may not be a pleasant thing. And that's yet to be determined. But how is that affecting you now? We got some folks living in the right now. Man, I just need that check. There's this TV that's coming up. I got to get it. There's a vacation I can't really take right now, but I just like the fact that I got money in my pocket. I get it. Nothing wrong with it, man. Totally get it. But this is kind of the time where we have to look at, different ways of creating multiple streams of income. That has been discussed on so many different platforms. And I think a lot of people at times tend not to look at that, because it's not their norm. It's not what they're accustomed to. And it's not something that they've been educated on how to maneuver it and do it in a manner that's comfortable and in a manner that's being profitable. Because multiple streams of income is the way we should really survive, and not necessarily look at just one way to collect these monies in dollars. If you're looking at anybody right now, and I'm pretty sure of it, if they're on a different platform and they're in a different tax bracket than you are, they have more than one stream of income. It just happens. They're not relying on one thing, because we could have a situation just like this where one level of income is knocked out and you don't have that secondary or that third entity that's going to supply you with the dollars and the profits that are necessary for your living. It's got to happen. We have to be able to put ourselves in that position. So how has COVID changed you? There's land for sale right now. People are staying home and they're staying in, and homes and property is for sale, because there are some people out there, businesses, that just don't keep up the payments. They can move out or fall under, or it's just a time of growth. So we got to be able to put not only our dollars in the right location, but be able to put some investments and some time and energy into realizing that, hey, there's some stuff we need to do here. Shout out to Tiffany, who made some comments. I see you, Tiff. We're going to talk about this, and I saw your platform there. I love it. The lady's brilliant when it comes to making financial impacts on our lives, and I'm pretty sure you're going to learn more about Miss Tiffany Tippins later on. But look at how our jobs are truly being affected by what we're doing. We got people working from home now. We're no longer going into the office place as frequently. Now, some buildings and some companies are opening back up their doors, and they've said that, hey, we want our employees to come back into the environment. But that does come at a different price. It does come at a different cost, because now when you're in those working environments where there's lots of people, that social distancing is still the norm. We're separating ourselves. We're pushing back on that energy of being around other people. And it's creating a different effect on the way we are interacting, not only in the workforce, but how we're creating opportunities of income. We're just at a social distance that we're not really staying connected to one another to find out what's really going on. We got to change that. We got to have a different mindset to just kind of stay more included in what people are doing. We've got text messaging. You can use your phone for calling and talking to people like we used to. We've got Zoom meeting, video conferencing, different ways. We've got this platform here that's put together. So we have different ways to put things together and talk about it and learn from and with and the tools that we have with one another. We have to take advantage of that. So how has COVID changed your life, even for the better, even for the worse? That job situation, man, you got to look at your money. You got to take a real hard look at your income and where you're going to be to determine, is this going to be the best bet for you long term, or is this going to be something that you can just kind of see yourself doing, in the interim, just getting by. You've heard the good version and the good statement that says, don't make long-term decisions based on temporary situations. And I think there are a lot of people in the world out there who are seeing this temporary situation as something they're getting comfortable with, and they're allowing it to be, well, I just want to ride this thing out and, wring the towel out and suck the meat all off the bone until it goes away. Well, you're running into that right now. I believe that, some people are actually lost their Social Security, not Social Security, but their unemployment. Their benefits are kind of coming down. So getting back out in their workplace could be a little foreign to you, simply because you're not doing something that you were used to doing or comfortable with at the time. So how has COVID changed your life? Were you making time to learn a different trade, or making some time to enhance your skills? We've got so many video platforms out here that, going to school can be easy online if you're in position to do that, or even just taking the time to learn something new, learn a new craft. You can do that. There are people out there that are doing that, folks, and even taking advantage of somebody being gone in the workplace to step up in your current role and say, hey, listen, I've been taking on a little bit more than I can handle, or more than I was, privy to. What about, and let's look at me actually moving into a different position within the company, because the money's still there. The money's still there, whether or not they paid that person their salary or their wage. The dollars are still going to be there to allocate for certain positions. And even if it's not, if you're not creating that position within your company, then create it on your own. There's so many options and opportunities that COVID has put here in this place that we got to take advantage of. We truly have to take advantage of how COVID has truly changed our lives overall. And yes, it's going to be some dramatic shifts. It's going to be some things that are going to be very, very, very uncomfortable. But we have to be in position to say, what's my next move? How am I going to operate in this? And what's going to be the best bet for me to move forward and get something in a positive manner with the situation that's going on. So if I am someone that's working from home and I don't have immediate supervision, some people are still pretty micromanaged working from home in that environment. Take some time to learn about yourself, learn about what the market is doing, and see what tools you can put together to enhance not only your personal skills, but what you've learned about your industry as you begin to navigate, because the internet is your source. You're plugged into, if you're not plugged into your modem, you're on your Wi-Fi connection. You have the resources there in front of you, folks, to look at this in a bigger picture, so you can say, hey, I can take advantage not only of this situation, but put myself lined up for some future growth, simply because based on how COVID has changed your life. So looking at that from your finance situation, growing, the stock market is down because of this, because of what the president has put into place. The stimulus package is not there. The stock market is not there. When you're not familiar with how to do trades, you're not familiar with what it takes to do with investing, here's a great opportunity to do that. Learn what small businesses are operating, what large corporations are how they're operating, how they're publicly traded, what money can be put into these companies, where do you see the shift in the dynamic of what we're doing, and how you can benefit from all of this. Listen, COVID has changed all of our lives. It may not be off of the positive, it may not be off of the negative, but there is some shifting and some changing in there that we can all take advantage of and work not only together, man, to make each other better, but find that individual tool to just make you better. Reach down deep inside and say, you know what, I always wanted to learn how to do this. Look at how things are beginning to shift into the better for you. And what do you mean by better, man? It's virus going around and it's so much negativity in the news. Well, yeah, I get it. And I'm not taking away from that because that can be addressed. But you have to be able to shift your mindset and see the positive in all this. You know, you have more control now of what you're eating and what your diet is concerned of. I'll talk about health later on in the show. But what I want you to see financially with what you have going on is change is now upon us to make that decision, right? Your routine is now based on what you have in front of you and what you're willing to do to move forward and take advantage of this. If the job market is there and you see those positions out there, you know, take some time to doctor that resume up. Take some time to learn what that stock market is doing, and learn about the change in the economy as it is today, right? You all know as well as I do, this is an information age. So all the information is right here in front of us. We can take advantage of that. We're living in a society now which is called SaaS. For those who don't know what SaaS is, it's SaaS, software as a service. So your software, you're operating on apps on your cell phone, right? You can hardly ever leave your home without your cell phone or your smartwatch. So we're operating in a time where software is a service on just about everything that we're doing. Your daily routines are consisting of moving on apps, watching apps, purchasing on apps, sleeping with apps, engaging in different apps. How long are you going to be on this platform? Shoot, how long are you on Facebook? How long are you on YouTube? How long are you on Netflix? How long are you on MyPlate? How long are you engaged in all of these different software applications? It's all about the engagement. There's a doc. I haven't really seen the whole thing, but I saw a little bit of it and I was really intrigued. It's a documentary on Netflix that talks a little bit about this and kind of expands your mind. You know, they begin to see your buying habits and your eating habits and what you watch on a regular basis, that they want to feed you more and more and more of this information because you're engaged. That is where you are. That is where the dollars are. That is where the investment is. That is where you are. You're not passing the billboards on the freeway because you're not making that commute to work on a regular basis. So I have to hit you exactly where you are, and these shopping and spending habits are going to be right there along with me. If you're watching all these freaking movies on Netflix or on Showtime, then I know that the engagement is going to be high because you're watching all these different series. And I know that if you're engaged in this type of series, they're going to continue to watch that, right? Same thing over here. If you're engaged in health and wellness, if you're watching some, learning how to do yoga, or if you're learning how to get massages and spas, stuff like that, all those things are going to come to you because you're engaged. You're there longer. They're going to give you more of an engagement. So think about some of the things that you want to learn how to do more of. Those platforms are going to start to open up. You're going to start to see more treatment. You're looking for a car. If you're looking to purchase a car, right? You got your mind made up. You want to go out here and get this Lexus. Okay, cool. But while he's looking for Lexuses, consider this Infiniti. Consider this BMW. Consider this Tahoe. We're going to start to feed you stuff because this software as a service is going to start to bring applications to you where you are, right? Because you open up that door to say, I'm interested in this. I'm observing this platform. So that's somebody's job, man. That's what they're doing. You yourself have to be able to engage in the exact same thing and see it for where it is. So it's okay to be entertained, but you also have to be educated and be enlightened at the same time and learn a little bit more about what's going on. Because now, folks, we're moving into what is called a TaaS, transportation as a service. How has COVID changed your life? If you're starting to see more vehicles showing up at your door or at your neighbor's door, bringing different packages, dropping off deliveries because you're not going to the stores frequently, or that new outfit that you were waiting to buy in the mall is closed and you can't go there. You're starting to buy more on eBay and on Amazon and on all these different platforms because they're delivering. And if you notice, there's more delivery trucks out here now, and the gas prices didn't go up as often or as high. So something's going on. Transportation is out here. These jobs are out here. People are driving. They're moving around. We can start to see the shift coming up to more electric cars coming up in the near future. Because if I can put more vehicles on the road with less drivers, as a business owner, I can make more deliveries and make more money. So how does that affect you as a consumer? You're going to be able to buy more. You're going to be getting more. Give me, give me, give me. But you're going to need some income to continue these spending habits that you're creating and that they're servicing. So how has COVID changed your life? Look at all the different dynamics that we're doing here and that we're engaged in on a regular basis that we weren't doing this time last year. All of your social media platforms got you out here cheesing and smiling at old football games and old restaurants and taking pictures of your food, and you're spending more time with loved ones, but you're not able to do that as often. That level of engagement on your cell phone is showing you the life that's on your phone because you're engaged more, right? So are you doing more things? You can get, occupations and jobs, being a online shopper, and they'll pay you for this. Watch this movie, watch this video. They'll pay you for that. You can find different ways of making income if you just stay engaged in the platforms where you are and find out more about how this job entity is going to be able to change the dynamic of what we're doing, right? So see for where it is, folks. How has COVID changed your life? Because you're going to have money. You're going to have money. And we were in a period where we were quarantined, looking down and really couldn't get out as much. And how does that affect your relationships, man? You gotta be able to cover that home and that rent and that mortgage. Yeah. Not only are you the only person there, but hey, you got somebody in there. That other pillow gets a little cold sometimes, single people. And you want to have somebody over and spend that time. How's the dating aspect of it? Yeah, I opened that door. I talked about it. I'm gonna go there. Again, the call-in number is 847-47-iLife. You can again follow me again at Andy Brown Speaks. We talked about all these different topics. We're going to open up this canister about relationships, how COVID has changed your life, and really see that for what it is. So let me just kind of talk with what's already together before I talk about what's divided, right? You've got somebody that's already in your home, married folks. And now, hey, you get to see, I didn't get to see my sweetheart on a regular basis. I had to work long hours and couldn't make it to some of the events that we had planned. And now what we're going to do now that we're working from home together, I can see you every day. I can wake up, smile at you. I can stay in bed a little bit longer. I don't have to rush in traffic. But the good part is I'm seeing you a little bit more often than I want to. And the bad part is I'm seeing you a little bit more often than I need to. Man, look, I know that you said you wanted this person to have and to hold and sickness and health until death do you part, but you're probably driving each other crazy if you haven't put that level of communication back into your relationships. I said it. Do your routine, man. You got to have a level of comfortability with the person that you're saying, I'm committed my life with. You're in 2 years in a relationship, or you're in it 12 years, or never even 20 years. But every day, part of that cohesiveness that you had together was the fact that you had some time away. How does that affect you now? How does that look now that you all are not so much apart from one another, that, we got breakfast together, we have lunch together, you dragging your feet around the house in this bathrobe, and I ain't getting none last night, and now I get to see you all up in there. Oh, come on, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm keeping it 100. Yeah. Whatever they're watching on TV is driving you crazy because you in the middle of a conference call, or, they're talking too loud with their colleagues at work that is interrupting some of your series that you got going on. And y'all can't make up your mind on what you want to eat. Now it's in a big tussle and fight because somebody had the remote control too long last night and took it out the bedroom. It happens. It happens. You go through it. Y'all dealing with it. What does that look like, man? Because you got that cohesiveness on a regular basis. Have you put a routine together? Have you talked about what it is that, how we're going to operate, as a business in our home so that I don't interfere with what you got going on? You don't interfere with what I got going on. We can meet sometime in the middle, uh, have lunch together or take a break together or even just let you have at it. And I may see you tonight when you're done. But you have to have a little level of cohesiveness to build on that and to keep that thing going. Because there's some single folks out there who are dealing with this as an issue when you're talking about relationships with this COVID. Because hey, we're quarantined, man, and I don't have the right to just come over and knock on anybody's door. Or, you can only do so much with FaceTime and these videos and text messaging. The dating game is just very much thin. The restaurants are closed. The entertainment places are closed. You can't really do that in a dating aspect. So what do? Single folks, how do you make that happen? Well, you got plenty of time to talk, and you got plenty of time to text and get to know somebody's language right there where they are. If they text too much and that's not for you, move on, bro. If she doesn't respond back when you need her to, and she is busy, uh, move on, young lady. That ain't for you. He's annoying you, whatever the case may be. You have to find that level of cohesiveness where you are in the dating aspect, because ultimately you may want to get to the point of where you're living together and you're growing in a relationship and you're married and living happily ever after. But it ain't happening right now because that quarantine has separated you all. That COVID-19 is real, and it's affected in the way that you all are communicating with one another. Hold that thought. Hope somebody's getting some insight on this tonight. I'm getting a few text messages like, man, you crazy. No, man, look, I got to keep it 100 because this is what we do, man. We come together, we talk, we engage. Tiffany even said that she's changed her entire business online and just got done talking about this. You have to be you really have to be innovative. You got to be creative on this, and you have the ability to do such of where you are. Listen, nobody's going to tell you how you should operate yourself online. You have to be able to navigate your own self and say, this is the change that I'm going to do, how I'm going to incorporate my difference, and how I'm going to come out on top. It's going to happen. So even in that dating aspect, in that dating apparatus of what you're doing, you got to be able to see that, hey, man, look, if I'm interested in said person and I want to get to know them where they are, then I have to be able to talk to them where they're at. And if I can't make a routine visit and come over, late night COVID booty calls or whatever the case may be, that's not what you're doing. Hey, man, look, meet that person where they are, get to know them, get to know more about them, and talk to them, speak with them, do some video conferencing, and get to know them for real, man. Get to see what's in the background of their home on these videos, man, before you go over there. Young lady, get to see if he's only showing you one spot in the whole house all the time, or he's only doing videos because he's in the car with the seatbelt on. It might not be the right dude to talk to. It could be holding something back if you can't get to see that home. You don't get to see that element before you step your foot in that person's domicile. Or if she's only giving you, just little pieces of what she's doing and doesn't want to put a video on because, she don't look a certain way. All right. Well, chances are, if I want to get to know you, I'm going to have to see you in all different facets and where you are with your life. Not to say that that's moving too fast, but again, get to know somebody where they are. We have to be able to do this. Too many times we got folks rushing into situationships, and it's not benefiting them because they don't know the other person and they're just trying to not sleep next to cold pillows. It's not happening. You got to get some more information. My Bible readers are out there, and the book of Proverbs it states, everything that you get understanding. So if you follow the word, then do as the word says, right? A lot more into that, but I won't really dive off into that one tonight. But just think about what you're doing, what COVID-19 has done to change your life in this dating apparatus. It's out here, man. You're not out here spending big money. You're not out here buying big drinks and trying to show out and show off. You're not taking all these expensive trips because these places are on shutdown. So all the different, vacations and all the different resorts and all the different casinos and all the different cruises, That's on shutdown. You have really got to bring your R game, your real game, your trueness and who you really are, and away from the representative to let them see who you really are as a person. You know, later for all that, ring around the bush and all that kind of stuff. Because if you're not getting your hair done, young lady, on a regular basis, because that appointment didn't fall through like you needed to, then he's got to get to see you in a different aspect, the real you. Okay, brothers, if you ain't really getting yourself, the man maintenance taken care of on a regular basis, then you got to be able to let her know that, hey, sometimes you ain't always gonna have the fresh cameo, the fresh lineup, the fresh edge up on a regular basis. But get to know that person where they are, and it's just something that you can do now. Things are starting to open up in our society, but how has COVID really changed the way that you behave and the things that you're doing? You've got to be able to see it. Hit your boy up, man. This is what I do. Follow me on my social media platform. If you're digging this, man, give me some comments. Drop some good knowledge and drop some insight on the page. Share this same page as link with people that you know. If you're getting some insight, if you want to share this, again, I'm going to be on this platform each and every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, giving you some insight right here on your social media platform. So as long as you're making your money, or as long as that unemployment check is coming in, and you can put something on that cell phone bill and that internet, then we're going to talk. We're going to have some good stuff to talk about and engage in, and you can be able to chime in with me right here. So the call-in number, as you can see, 847-47-iLife. That number's right there for you. Go ahead and log it into your cell phones, man, and program that, and you can send me some insight and talk to me. If you got some text messaging you want to do, the feed is right there open for you. Throw some hearts, throw some thumbs, put it out there for your people to know about that you've been right here with your boy Andy Brown, getting in on the online happy hour. So we're talking about how has COVID changed your life in the dating apparatus. Yeah, it's big time. I see this on so many different aspects on social media platforms that it's sometimes kind of crazy. There was a post today that DaVince made. Let me pull that up real quick because that was freaking hilarious to me. There was a post that DaVince made here. Let me go back to that. It's right here. Let me see. Yes, right here. Right here in the group, the online happy hour. DaVince made my main man, my good pastor made this comment. He said, and this came from Trevor Noah, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But the quote says, if you remove sex from a relationship, you will discover that 90% of ladies have nothing to offer in relationships. And if you remove money from a relationship, you will discover that over 90% of ladies won't see a reason to be in that relationship. Let me say this one more time because the question was put out there, and it does affect how we look at COVID in a different way. Because I gotta get away from you now. I'm not always in the physical. Remember, social distancing, right? Let's look at this. Remove sex from a relationship, and you will discover that 90% of ladies have nothing to offer in relationships. Ouch. If you remove money from a relationship, you will discover that over 90% of ladies won't see a reason to be in that relationship. Ooh, that's a jab on the female, something serious, ain't it? But there's some people who are making some comments on this. I've seen people make some things, some men and women who have made some comments that said, yeah, they somewhat agree. And think about that. You have to kind of remove that physical aspect from the immediate necessity of being in a relationship right up front. You have to do that. You have to be able to sit that down and say, you know what, let me get to know this person for where they are, who they are, and what their expectation is of me before I even entertain the idea and the thought of having sex with somebody. See, this COVID has really changed people up because there's a lot of folks out here who are willing and able, because they can, run up and stick it in anything. There are some ladies who will sit back and receive just about anything from anybody. But you got to be more cautious in who you engage with when you're dealing with this COVID-19. Okay? No longer can we sit out here and just go out and be in free willy-nilly any and every aspect of our lifestyle, man. This is something that was I can't say provided, that was put in place necessarily. It's an issue. Trust me, I'm not making light of the entity of COVID-19, but the behaviors in which we have, how has it changed us? How have we said, I can no longer carry out in that manner of which I was operating in simply because I have to consider my health? I have to consider my wellness and also the wellness of the people around me. So, looking at the fact that we're doing this in a health wise, we are asked to wear face coverings and masks on the regular basis, right? You've seen people do it. You should have one yourself, if not two. Clean them motherfuckers if you can. You got to keep your masks clean. It's like moving around not brushing your teeth for days at a time. You gotta cover that up, man. You gotta keep that together. Okay. There's different filters you can slide into those masks. Different masks you can wear. They're washable. Some are disposable. Clean that shit up. I mean, just take care of your health first and foremost, and start right there when it's right there in front of you. That's something that had to be said. Um, COVID hasn't changed everybody's sanitary operations. You just nasty as a habit. It's just who you are as a person. I'm gonna open up that can a whole nother level at a different time, but I'm not gonna do that right now. So talk about being more aware of our health concerns and our health issues, where we are with this COVID-19. So if this is something I have to do, right, something I have to look at, and I have to say that I have to wear a face and nose covering in public, I'm looking out for the well-being of others. Okay, whether you agree with the principle or the information or not. Okay, there's an ordinance in some cities that say that a mask is required. Not legal, not a law, but it is an ordinance in most cities that you have to wear a mask covering to enter into some stores and whatnot. Now, even if you don't believe in the principle, right? If it's not for you, people are out here dying and they're passing away due to COVID-19. So we have to really take our health into consideration. Again, even if it's not for you, and this is something that you don't believe in, or something that you feel as if not is not as serious because it hasn't affected you personally per se. There are people out there who have been affected by COVID-19 directly. They've lost family members, they've lost friends. It probably hasn't hit them directly close to home, but it's the fact that it's out there. So be courteous and just be aware that somebody needs you to adhere by the ordinance and make sure that they're covered and protected. So even if it's not for you, do it for somebody else. Okay. I knew that they were going to start putting logos and stuff like that on different masks and different designs for style. That's just who we are as a culture. We want to look good in all that we're doing, and that's perfectly fine. But stay healthy with it, though, man. Take care of your body. Take care of what you're doing while you're working. You know, I've been guilty of it myself, man. Just kind of sitting around and just kind of being in front of the computer for long periods of time, that I wasn't taking control of my health the way I needed to. But I got to continue to do that. What are you taking in for your diet? What are you kind of exercise are you doing in between? Your regular work day and activities, and if those people who are not cooking as often or on a regular basis, if you don't really know your way around your own kitchen, then you have to be able to know that you can't just take an absorbent amount of processed foods and just let it sit on your body and sit in your body, right? So you're having McDonald's for breakfast, you're having Chick-fil-A for lunch, and you're ordering pizza for dinner. Everything on Uber Eats. Again, transportation as a society or as a service, and using an app, software as a service. So we're living in the times, we're operating in the times, but we're not really taking advantage of some of these things that we're doing for our health and our awareness. We got to do it. How has COVID changed your life? You're not able to go to the gym as often. Some people are going back. Gyms are opening up. But how has the gym or lack thereof, or more walking, or weightlifting, or running, jogging, eating, verbs, man, adverbs, if you will. How is that playing into your life on a regular basis? We have to do it, self included. We have to continue to open up this thing to say, hey, man, this is bigger than me. I have to do more. I have to want more, and I have to achieve more. I'm taking control of my health and getting my body together. So if I have the time, and think about this, if I have the time now that I don't have to deal with the, 1 to 4 hour commute on a regular basis, then I've opened up that window of time in my day to say what it is that I have to do and how I can impact myself for better health and better awareness. You've got the President of the United States who was diagnosed with COVID-19 just a week ago. And whether people believe it or not, it's a serious thing. It is a serious thing. So the health of someone who's had COVID-19, I've known people to lose loved ones due to COVID-19. Come on, man. Come on, y'all. We got to take this thing seriously. And some people just don't because it hasn't hit you directly and you don't want to wait until it does before it becomes an issue. So again, whether you believe it or not, COVID-19 is real in some form or fashion. I got people, what kind of world are we living in now where we have the President of the United States saying that he's been diagnosed with the coronavirus, and part of the American people don't even believe it? Like, come on. Where are we at in society, man, altogether that says that this is acceptable? We're playing with our health. Uncool, man. And I laugh because that is the furthest thing from being able to be honest with ourselves right now, because that is something crazy. That is absolutely crazy. How has COVID changed your life? Well, the fact that we don't even believe someone we're talking about their health issues because we don't trust them altogether. That was something we talked about last week on the show. Liars. I'm not the one to say he's lying. I don't even know, but I didn't know I got to take care of mine. Whether you believe he's got COVID-19 or not, whether you believe he's been diagnosed or not, think about this. Sidebar for just a second. We are really living in an age where we don't even take the President of the United States' word. Forget who it is. Forget who may hold the seat. But people aren't believing and trusting someone that they elected to be in office. And I'm not saying you directly were the one who put that person in office, but there's somebody out there who probably voted for the president and now turn around and saying, I don't trust this motherfucker. Come on, man. What kind of society is this? This is crazy. Anyway, going back to the health issues, going back to the health concerns of how COVID-19 has changed us, we have to look at what we're doing as a whole to stay healthy, more engaged. So if it's respiratory concerns that the primary reason why we're looking at this illness, coronavirus and whatnot, then what are we doing to increase our living and staying away from things just as a measurement of health to take care of our bodies? It starts with the foods that we eat, first and foremost. It starts with doing the research about what you should be putting into your body, what things not to put into your body. And if you all notice, man, when there's always a health concern or a health issue or a disease that plagues the country, this is going to sound crazy, but you have to look and think about this for the reality of which it is. Every time that there's a new epidemic or a drug that comes out or something that kind of attacks you, here comes another food item from the fast food chain and industry, right? Think I'm tripping. Soon as this coronavirus got big and we started to open up back in schools, here comes McDonald's with spicy chicken nuggets, right? It happens nonstop. Flu season kicks in roughly about late October, early November. Here comes the McRib. I'm going to just give you some more comfort food to make the situation a little bit worse, because I know you're going to want to buy into something or pacify your time with an oral stimulation and a little bit of food. It always happens. KFC is gonna introduce some new fries. Hey, we gotta be concerned about our health. Yeah, but come and check out these new French fries we got at KFC, right? Pandemic is going on. We gotta take more control of our health. Yeah, but Domino's has a new cheeseburger pizza. It's always another ploy to make you kind of pull back away from what we think is going to be the issue, and we want you to remain misinformed, miseducated. Stay over here. Again, it's all about engagement. So we got to watch our health more closely and stay away from the drama and the things that are going to take us away from learning more about. I'm serious about this. Watch, just check it out. Just think about this. When there's a new epidemic or a new something that comes out, a new drug is about to be produced to the market. Food industries take advantage of that. Excuse me. They take advantage of that by introducing a new menu item. Never fails. Never fails. Food and Drug Administration go hand in hand, folks. They are sleeping in bed together. They do what they do. They talk amongst themselves because there's going to be money to be made in all different facets. You've heard my favorite movie that was out many years ago in 1989, I believe. It was a movie called Harlem Nights. Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Red Fox. And Red Fox said something very, very sleek in the movie as a one-liner. We put our money with the other money, so it doesn't make a difference who wins. We get all the money. Sugar, you's a sweet, smart motherfucker. Yes, indeed, because it doesn't really matter where you spend your money. The big boys are going to win because they know who you are. They know your engagement. They know what you need. And they're going to give it to you. I'm talking to somebody right now. How has COVID changed your life? How has this thing really interacted and engaged with your life and your society as it speaks to your health concerns in your body? Right? There are certain things we're looking at right now, but when the weather's changing, a shift in the atmosphere that's going to keep us from actually being more healthy. We got folks who aren't running as often, right? You're seeing yourself because you've been quarantined for so long a period of time that you got clothes that don't fit like they used to, right? And you haven't been buying new clothes and you haven't been buying much water. You've been spending all your money on food. Come on now, look at your own spending habits and buying habits. Go through your own bank statements and just look at where you are. How has COVID changed your life, right? Look at the things that you're buying and you're consuming. Take a moment, even on this broadcast, or maybe throughout the week later on the next purchase that you make, and see how many times you're buying and spending your money on food. How often are you engaging in buying as a consumer food products? Well, I got to have this to eat. Well, I'm going to be hungry later. Well, this is on sale and I want to get these. And if I buy, 10, I can get them for $1 each. Come on, man. Think about your own personal buying habits and your health and your spend. Okay. All this kind of lines up within and of itself because we have to be able to see where your dollars are going. It all kind of comes back full circle. So if you're not taking control of your health, which is the ultimate tool, the ultimate body, the ultimate temple that you have, it's going to affect your overall awareness of what you're seeing, what you're doing, what you're hearing, what you're receiving about this disease and this COVID-19. So you're going to be easily or more easy to be attacked with these issues because now your body doesn't have what it needs with the nutrients in it to protect it from different entities and different items that can come to attack. So that kind of changes how you look at different people. That kind of changes how you operate as far as how you perform at your job, right? Because you don't have as much energy, and you're starting to eat more and chew more and nibble on more and have some more comfort food. You're not performing very well, and it shows in your numbers. It shows in your productivity. It shows in the lack of interest that you're doing and the jobs that you're performing. It's just going to do that. It's also going to change the way that you adhere to your relationships, who you interact with. If you're not comfortable in your own body or with your own body, then you're not going to be comfortable approaching and talking to some people because your ass is getting bigger, your clothes aren't fitting, You're not going to want to be able to go out in certain settings because, hey, you know what? I'm not ready. I'm not into that. And, face is getting chunkier and fatter, and you're not drinking as much water. I had to put some of the liquor down myself, man, and just kind of sit back on some H2O myself. So you got to be able to see how all these things start to come full circle. It affects your money. It affects what you're buying and your spending habits all together. Not only that, but your ability to make more income. What you're eating, what you're bringing into the body speaks to the level of confidence that you have because you're not feeding yourself, you're not nourishing yourself, and you're not in a position to feel comfortable about what you're doing. So you just make any decision. More cake, more chips, more snacks, more comfort food. The nutrients are not there, so you're just consuming and consuming and consuming. And you begin to see that take a effect on your body and your decision making. So you'll see your money begin to shift. How has COVID changed you? If it takes an illness or it takes a virus to wake us up, ladies and gentlemen, then it's necessary for us to really take advantage of the platform that COVID-19 has put us on. If we have to take a moment to quarantine and just say, you know what, stop everything that I'm doing, shut this down, let me start over, let me regroup, and let me focus on me, then that is what we need to do. We need to take some time to say, hey, I got to sit back for 14 days or 21 days or 14 hours, whatever you need to re-energize yourself, to re-quarantine yourself, get your thoughts together, get your mind together so that you can operate in the change of the world that's going on. There's a lot of things that are going on around us, but how has it affected you? How has COVID changed your life for the better? Look at the greatness that we've put in place. And yeah, I know that there's so many different dynamics, and we go back to social media and we look at all the negative things that are out there and so much stuff that's really putting us down. Well, chances are you don't have to really receive that if you change the way you receive yourself. If you tell yourself, I can't receive that type of information, I'm moving to a higher level, I want to grow, I want to get better, and I want to constantly increase myself, my awareness, my money, my food, my income, my job, my occupation, my friends, my status in life. I want an overall growth. Then start with the core. Start with what's inside of you. Feed yourself and feed your body, feed yourself the nourishments that are going to get you to help you see things more clearly, to operate and move with more energy, to get you to be able to adapt to the cultures and the change without it pulling you down and making negative comments and negative remarks. Oh my God, they're doing that again. Well, who made that decision to do that? You're starting to make those negative gestures and negative comments if we're not willing to grow and see it for the bigger picture. Okay. And trust me, I'm not saying everything that's going on is also made to improve us, but we have to take advantage of the growth and opportunities that we're in this life and this lifestyle. Look at the app. Just look at what we're doing right here. We're able to sit wherever we are in different cities, in different countries, in different households, and all meet on the same platform. That in and of itself is taking advantage of the technology that we have, right? We're sitting here and we're watching different people on social media platforms and watching on Twitter and watching on YouTube and watching on Facebook and watching on Instagram, living our lives vicariously through different means and mediums on social platforms. But you don't have to always be drawn to what's negative and what makes you laugh and what, rude and abusive behavior and language. We're not exempt to it, but change the way you look at things, change your aspect, change your mindset. Help each other grow to different levels, man, because it starts with us. How has COVID changed your life? If you're still where you are right now, and you can say that COVID hasn't made much of a difference to you, you're more of a loner, you're somebody that just kind of stays to yourself. Well, now's the time to take advantage of that for what it really is, because now the world is kind of operating on your platform. Now the world is just right there where you need it to be. Take more advantage. What could you do if somebody out there says, man, if I didn't have to go to work every day, I'd be doing this. Well, you've had the opportunity for so long. Take advantage of that. What would you really want to do with your life? You've got the time now, you've got the opportunity, you've got the resources and the tools. Go right ahead and do it. You have to be able to say that I can make it happen. Believe enough in yourself to say I can do this, and have enough energy in your body to say I'm going to take the steps to make it happen. It's all right here for us, folks. We have to be in position to say this is what I want, this is what I need, and I'm going to do it. How has COVID changed your life? There's another level of an entity and a force of a virus just hanging over us. So how do we still maneuver with all this is going on? How do we still function with everything around us that doesn't seem like it's going to be in our best interest and it's going to be healthy for us? That's where you have to really dive in and learn about this entity, this virus, what it's really doing to us, what society is doing, what's going on in our community. We have an opportunity to take advantage of the vote about a month from now, and we talked about that before. When it comes time to vote, who are your local officials that are asking and demanding for your vote, and not just the president and the former vice president looking for your vote. It has to kind of go up that ladder, man, at different levels. You have to be able to see that. You should want to see that because it affects you in so many different ways. So start with the small things and work your way up. If you want to have a bigger home and a bigger house and you're ready for it, one, take care of the house that you already have and see yourself living in a better society, in a better neighborhood, or in a bigger and better place. What does it take to get there? Do the research. What houses are for sale, or how do you get financing, and what are the terms and the interest rates? Where can you actually purchase, and what does that look like? Reach out to somebody who's in real estate to talk to them and get some ideas. You can do that right now. You can take advantage of that. You can look at different websites and see the experiences people have gone through, just like you look at the reviews on items that you've purchased on these different platforms of online shopping. Do the exact same thing with something that's more interesting to you as well. You got to do it. We have the tools, folks. We can make ourselves better. We can increase one another, and we can take some time to not only do this for ourselves, but look at the next generation of people that are coming up behind us. How has COVID changed your life? Because you, sir, ma'am, are now in the position to affect change and change someone else's. You have the right, you have the gift, you have the talent, you have the time. Take advantage. So, in today's parting words, I want to thank you for making time for the online happy hour, giving some good feedback and chiming in and throwing some love up in the air. I saw some of the likes, man. I saw some of the hearts, and I got to read some of the comments as well. Got a few text messages that are coming in, so I definitely appreciate that. And I just want to thank you for continuing to let this platform be available. Chime in when you can, man. I know some folks will be like, nah, I just want to listen to what you have to say. Well, that's okay. I don't mind doing that, but I also want to hear from you all as well. I think this coming week we're going to have some special guests chime in with us and get the engagement moving quite a bit and talk about some things. So if there's some stuff you want to hear, hit your boy up, man, in the chat. Follow me on different platforms. You can hit me on the inbox. You can talk to me about this so we can learn and grow for one another. That's how we do it. So you've seen the platform. If this is something that you like and you enjoy, continue to spread the word, tell somebody about it, and let this be the norm for new growth and new opportunities that we're doing together. I'm excited about it, as you can tell. Looks like I had to talk for a long period of time, but you know what? It doesn't matter, man. It just feels good knowing that I'm doing what's good for me, what comes natural for me, something that I enjoy, and I know that somebody got something good out of this. So if you got some good game tonight, folks, if you don't mind, just do me a favor. Tell 2 more people to tune in with you on Thursday. Yes, again on Thursday. I hit you each and every week, twice a week, 2 times. 7 to 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesday, and 7 to 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursdays each week, right here on this platform called the Online Happy Hour. So I may have a special guest pull up next week and trip out with your boy. I think I'm gonna do that just because I know you all want to engage and hear some what people have to say. So if you got some good sight, tell some friends, man. Talk to your people. Let it be known. This is what we do, how we do it, where we do it, and why we do it. It's all for the better. It's all for the growth. Want to say good night to my family. Go mob to my frat, and I'm gone. It's your main man, Andy Brown, right here on the Online Happy Hour. Stay tuned. Peace.